Well, I'm like all the rest of you out there. I love my mother, just like y'all loved yours, and a lot of you love mine. I thank the Lord for my godly mother. I thank the Lord for both my godly parents. Brother Max was talking. He mentioned things, and it just brought back memories. He told how she would put up food. I can remember that as just a child. At the time, I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have. Because Vicki and David and I had to go pick the beans and tend to the garden and help things like that. I remember Mom, lots of nights in harvest time, summertime. She was canning and freezing. Some years she'd put up as much as 2,000 containers of food for us children and Dad. I just really love and appreciate her. I remember I had another memory sitting there. You've heard talk about growing pains. As children, a lot of times have growing pains. I was just a little guy, probably less than 10 years old. When I'd play real hard sometimes, from my legs, from my knees to my ankles, would hurt after I'd go to bed, would hurt so bad. And of course, our room adjoined Mom and Dad's. And I'd lay there and cry with the pain. And Mom would hear. And she'd come over, she'd rub my leg with alcohol till the pain went away and I'd drift off to sleep. I thank God for all those things, a lot of things I can't think of. But I thank the Lord for Mom. God had blessed them in their younger years. Dad was a contractor. Of course, he was Christian. They was Christians. They got saved when they was in their 20s. And they served the Lord, but God hadn't called them to preach yet. But they served the Lord and God blessed them. And they did well. But then came a time God called Dad to preach. And by that time, they were probably in their mid-40s. And like Brother Max said, they went through some hard times. Went through times they had to pray in their next meal. They went from a time, Dad, I've heard him say he could just sign them his name would get $1 million. But later on, he had to pray in where the next meal was coming from. But God blessed him. I appreciate my mother. She stayed right there when God called Dad to preach. She was a faithful wife. They went through 2 or 3 years of hard times. And she was there. Of course, he pastored here in Tennessee for about 12 years. And then they called him to Haiti. And of course, she went over there, lived over there and served her life for the Lord, and was such a blessing to the Haitians. But something I wanted to share with you. Of course, the Haitians loved her dearly, and still do, her memory. But she was going downhill the last few months, and a lot of them knew it. And they was praying for her and hoping that God would heal her. He had from time to time. And God has spoke to 2 or 3 different ones. And he told me, he said, I'm going to leave her here with you for a little while longer. But it's time for her to come home. Time for her to go. And then the Haitians spend a lot of time fasting and praying. And this really blessed my heart when I heard it. But a lot of them were down at the tabernacle for 3 days. They was having a 3-day fast. I think they do that quite a bit over there, pray and fast. And there's 3 days, I think, down at the tabernacle praying and fasting. And then afterward, they come up. I don't know if it was on a Wednesday night or a Thursday, what it was, but they'd come up to spend some time with Mom. And they was praying with her. And one girl was really crying and weeping and tore up. And she was asking God to heal her. Said, Lord, would you heal her? And Jesus spoke to her. And he said, it's time for her to get her crown. And then Sunday, I think it was, she went to be with Jesus. And I know Mom's in heaven today. I praise and thank the Lord for her. And I thank him also for giving me a godly mother.